What has happened? Today I'm attempting to make a 3-course meal using just tin canned food. That's right, you are gonna be busy, my friend, because... yeah, there's 2 more. These are cold. There's a reason these are being chilled. I'll put them back in the fridge. That was coconut milk, by the way. It's been in my fridge all night. So with those tins and all of these others, which came to, just £17. My basket's starting to look like something that Robocop would wear. We are indeed going to try and make a 3-course meal using just tin can food. I might season it with salt and pepper, maybe add some herbs. I don't know, but I've been wanting to do this video for ages. I know some of you guys have wanted to see me try it. We're going to kind of bumble our way through it. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. And there's something we're going to be doing with the dessert at the end, which I've wanted to do for so long. And even you guys have asked me. I'm really excited for that. But let's start with the starter. Yeah. Okay, here's the ingredients for the starter. See if you can work out what it is. These are tinned potatoes in water. I didn't go completely budget brand today. I think I could have got the cost down to about 12 quid if I did. Soup, some sweet corn, and the last thing, which is a little bit of a curveball, is Spam. So with this, I'm actually gonna make a chowder. I first had one of those in New England and they're like more made with clams, and in fact you could probably get tinned clams. But of course they did have like tinned fish like mackerel and anchovies and tuna, things like this, but I really like the idea of combining the chicken with the Spam that's bacon. So the first thing I'm gonna do is fry up this Spam to drive some flavour into it. It's really, but I actually discovered on the channel years ago that cold like that smells a bit weird, don't really like it. If I fry it, it's actually quite nice. Quite. And obviously there's so many different ways you could take this. I very nearly went vegetarian with like a leek soup, but I'm just cubing this up into nice little blocks like that. So let's get these fried. Big old Minecraft blocks, don't they? Chloe's gone off playing Minecraft. She likes Fortnite now. She was playing it the other day and there was M&M on there. Like Mum's Spaghetti or something. She went into an actual diner. Here we go then, folks. It's calmed down a little bit, but you can see the charring, the colour on the sides there. It's almost like when you cook a ham, just on a mini scale. What's happening here? These are puffed up and it's bacon flavour. They are like bacon lardons now, and you can buy bacon lardons in a shop for almost double the price. In fact, I don't think I needed to add oil because some of those natural fats have just seeped out. Yeah, just a lovely, gentle charring on it. That is a lot of fat. Yeah, I've just put it into a bowl. Look at all of that. Oh my goodness. So I've patted it dry a couple of times. Let's look at these potatoes then. Let's say really budget ones, these. There's quite a lot in there. It's filled right to the brim. Oh, that's pretty good value. But let's have a look at these. Oh look, they are like new potatoes. They're all mixed sizes. They're really nice and soft and tender. In fact, I shouldn't really do this. Yeah, I could literally eat those. Yep, so I'm just chopping these ones up roughly. I've actually got a spare tin. I am not going to need that. Mainly because I only bought 1 tin of soup. And that's just going to go straight in there. Cream of chicken soup. So that is very cheeky. A chicken soup with double cream in it. And actually, to be fair, this is some of that potato water. I am going to pour it all in. In goes some sweet corn. So chicken bacon and sweet corn chowder. And then those potatoes. I mean, it looks blooming bizarre because we've not sort of stirred it yet, that water and soup particularly. I'm just going to give it a good season. There we go then, folks. So it's just up to a gentle simmer. You can see already it's slightly reduced down. I've got some other tins of random vegetables. Oh, look at that. When you stir it, it all just comes up. Aha! Looks a bit boring without it, but it's all hidden beneath. That's actually sort of like my fear of the sea in one sort of visualization there. That's why I don't like going in the sea that much. You just never know what's underneath you. I think, spoiler Barry, it's probably fish, but you never know what's lurking in your chicken Spam chowder. So keeping one eye on our soup whilst it reduces down, let's talk about our main. This might get a bit weird. First ingredient is some tinned tomatoes, tinned mushrooms. I blooming love mushrooms, but a lot of the internet doesn't. Mixed vegetables, which we could have put in the chowder. This is a 4-pack of spaghetti. So we've got pasta. And this is where I've set myself a little bit more of a quirky challenge in that I've got a tin of meatballs. So with all of these things, we are gonna make spaghetti bolognese. I might have to drain this off slightly because we've got tomato sauce in that, we've got tomato sauce in the meatballs, and we've got, well, a tin of tomatoes. I want these to be the dominant flavour. Oh wow, that's a lot in that tin. One of my guilty pleasures is just buttered toast with some tin spaghetti or ravioli. It's like one of my just comfort foods. So simple. But yeah, that is draining off brilliantly. I'll leave it for a moment. Let's get a look at these mixed vegetables. So they'll just be in water as well. Ooh, it's colour shade. If it was like one of those palettes when you go into like a DIY store to buy paint, the code would be murky. Let's just give that another stir around. Is this the story with tin food? Just give it a stir so it looks a little bit nicer. Do you know what though? I'm actually gonna wash this spaghetti off. There we go. Oh my word, look how much cleaner that actually, look, I know this is extremely obvious, but like, tin spaghetti in tomato sauce, it's just like, yeah, it's like spaghetti. Does it feel like real spaghetti? It's literally spaghetti. We've cleaned you. So this is what I'm doing, and this is purely for presentation. We're gonna have the spaghetti as a bed on its own with the filling separately that we sort of serve up. So it should hopefully look a bit more like a bolognese. If I wasn't doing it for presentation, I would just probably just bung it all in together into one old big pan. Speaking of a pan, look at you cheeky thing. Look how much that's thickened up. The potatoes are not mushy. It's looking very good. Oh, get in my bowl. Chunky, hearty, and I'm not talking about me. Sorry. Yeah, right on there. I put my sexy lens on for this, folks. Only comes out on special occasions, especially for tinned food. I've got a nice medley on here of the soup, the spam, the potatoes, and the sweet corn. Oh, what a delightful medley. That is absolutely fantastic. The spam has got that charring on there, a slight sort of chewiness where we've softened it. The potatoes, I thought they were going to go to mush. We simmered that for a good 25 minutes. They're a lot better than straight out the tin. Just adding that little bit of salt and pepper. The pepper particularly. I mean, that is gorgeous. That is absolutely amazing. In goes our chopped tomatoes. So these are finely chopped already with the basil in there. I'm going to need all of that. I have got no idea how many meatballs are going to be in here. But I've got the sieve. I've emptied the spaghetti out. It's just to one side there. Oh my word, look, that's very watery. So we're building up some crazy sauce in the bottom of this, which, like I say, I'm not against mixing it all together. There's some wedged at the bottom, look at that. Oh my word. The joy of tins, which is 100% a cookbook by someone, 100%. So my plan was to chop them up. So this might look very weird. And I should have got a bigger bowl. This is gonna work. I'm very happy about this. The only thing now is my spaghetti meatballs is not gonna look really like classic spaghetti meatballs. It's gonna look like spaghetti bolognese meatballs with all the added ingredients, but hey, I make the rules here. Like I say, just do it your way. So pepper and salt. Remember, we've got basil in there already. I do think it might need a bit more sauce though, because like the chowder, we can always reduce it down. In fact, we've got it. We might as well use some of it. So I just take the sieve away to a little bit. See, it's a little watery, I'll give it that. The spaghetti was from Heinz, and that reminds me very much of the Heinz tomato soup. So if they use Heinz tomato soup as the base for their spaghetti, I mean, they probably do, that's very clever. I really like that taste. And as I stir this, I'm just wondering, like, dumping the spaghetti in now, brilliant. But no, I think I'm gonna warm it on its own, probably in the microwave actually. Your mum's spaghetti and all that. We're just gonna warm you through, mate, okay? Get you up to a nice heat. I mean, the meatballs are already cooked through. I don't wanna eat one of them straight out of the tin cold. It would be fine. But for reference, my original plan was to take those meatballs out and kind of mash them into the minced, because it was a lot cheaper to do that. It's your call, but I literally just switched it to spaghetti meatballs. We made that decision together, folks. You actually helped me. Yes, you sat on a bus in London on your phone watching this. Yeah, you. If you are sat on a bus in London watching this, hello. The mushrooms and the vegetables are getting to know the chopped tomatoes and of course that other medley of sauces that we dumped in. So I was tempted to stick it in a saucepan, but now we've taken some of the sauce off of it. I mean, we could boil it. Oh my gosh. This is you on that bus again in London controlling what I do. I'm in two minds. Do I add it to a saucepan with water and boil it the way it sort of would be in the sauce? I feel like I might damage it as I'm stirring it. Or do I just warm it through in the microwave for simplicity like I do when I have it with toast? I think we will do that. No. I like the other way because it's gonna really clean. We're gonna boil it. I'm really regretting choosing to do this now. And like I said, just bung it all in the same pan if you want to do it in a rush. Don't need to do this at all. This is ridiculous. I could put it in the microwave and get on with my life. So let's slide that in. Just gonna bring it back to life. This is really working well. This has been nice and warmed. It's very delicate, but look at the color of it. I thought I washed it all off, but there we go. That is proper spaghetti now. So straight from the colander. This is purely visual, like I say. Let's spoon down our spaghetti meatball medley. Oh wow. Again though, I think allowing myself to season it is really beneficial. And this is a shimmy of mixed herbs. I'm just dusting that on like that. Oh my word! Oh wow, that looks awesome. Spaghetti meatballs that was gonna be spaghetti bolognese, but we just freestyled it thanks to the guy on the bus in London. All from a tin. I'm quite proud of this. Like, it always looks different on the camera compared to in person, so if it looks awful, I'm apologising. 20 minutes ago, this was all in tin cans. That's so comforting. That's worked. The only thing I will say is when I bit into that meatball straight away, it was like slightly like that mushy texture. It was just a bit too soft. Not mushy, it just didn't put up a fight. So I actually do think that chopping up the meatballs into smaller pieces, or indeed just buying a tin of beef mince, would have been better. The spaghetti, I mean, you really wouldn't tell that that was straight from a tin. That just generally does taste like real spaghetti. And I was saying, oh yeah, we won't be able to spiral it. Some of it is actually quite long, look. I never knew that, because I don't go to this sort of effort when I use tin spaghetti normally. The only thing I would say about it is super soft. It's like not al dente by any means. Like, I'm surprised it's holding itself together. The texture is slightly mushy, but that's just really a little bit like the potatoes, I suppose, where it's just been sat in a sauce for so long. But that's absolutely fine. Now for dessert, I am very much out of my comfort zone because I have never done this before. It's something you guys have really suggested I do in the past, when normally I would tip this away. And in fact, now I think about it, damn, what we are left with could have gone into the soup. Maybe not the soup, that would have been weird, but the bolognese more, instead of the meat, chickpeas. Yes, the water in chickpeas. I have genuinely never ever done this. You can whip up to make a meringue. And we've not just got chickpeas. I've got 2 tins of coconut milk. And again, this is something I've not done before. These have been chilled in the fridge overnight. We can whip this up to make a cream. So potentially a coconut cream tropical meringue, maybe pavlova if you want to go big. I might go for small islands if that's all right. But with those sort of tropical things going on, I've got some pineapple halves and some apricots. So some syrup in both of these. Now they're in fruit juice, so once we've got the meringue fairly stable when we're whipping it, we could sweeten it a little bit if we want with the juice from either the apricots or the pineapple. Probably the pineapple actually. And last but not least, this is where we can kind of like spoil ourselves and go a bit cheeky. We've talked about this before, we've got tins of condensed milk. If you slow cook that, it will slowly heat and warm and turn into caramel, or you can just buy a tin of caramel. If this all works, we're going to be drizzling this on our tropical chickpea meringue island things. Got it? So let's whip chickpea juice. Yeah, coconut milk's just gone back in the fridge. I hope that makes sense. We're being quite creative today and also a little bit on the fly. I quite like it when I get to do videos like this. Thank you for your permission slip today. Ding, 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 ding. Like every time. Ooh, I've just got a feeling that I might catch the odd chickpea. Oh, in fact, I can. But I want to try not to, because I want to see if I will get any sort of random remnants of like... Look, there's a teeny piece there. There we go. It at least justified it. Now, I guess part of me is thinking that because I've only ever whipped egg whites before, and they say to obviously keep that proper clean. I'm genuinely sure I've never done this before, ever. This is the thing. I've told people you can do it. People are like, oh, what can I do with like leftover chickpeas? I'm like, well, with the water you can make meringue. I've like, never actually done it. I hope those people are still alive. But we've got our pineapple, so let's just... Oh, God, that blooming stinks. That's the only thing I will say. Like, you literally smell of dog food. That's still like soft peak stage, but apparently you might need to whisk it for up to 15 minutes. Thank goodness we've got a head whisk. Like, seriously, it does still stink, but then egg whites don't smell great, do they? I don't really smell of anything. There's another speck, but to be fair, I really don't mind. Look, there's a nice, I would say they are stiff peaks now. They're holding their shape until I dribble on a little bit, just a speck of pineapple juice, so naturally sweet. And I think, oh wow, yes! I think that'll do. The smell has actually got better. Well, I've either got used to it, it naturally goes away as you whisk it, which I don't think is true, or the pineapple juice, which was only a teeny bit, has become a sort of aftershave. I think I've just got used to it. I was gonna do, like, just big old islands, but I think I might just do a really smaller and rustic. That's the key word. I'm gonna say rustic because that way it can look rubbish. Little mini pavlova, which we can fill the middle with some of the fruit, maybe on the sides. It certainly has the texture. In fact, I wouldn't really not think this was meringue. Like if someone had just done this for me. I mean, that happens to me often. Hello Barry, here's some meringue I've made you. There you go. Good luck, have a great day. Now I've not done that amazingly, so I'm gonna try and push that back to create a slightly bigger area in the middle, all right. That one's just moving anyway. Oh no. I don't mind though, like this, it's beyond that. All right, in you go, my friend. Unfortunately, that is gonna take a fair bit of time. I don't know if it's gonna puff up. If it does, brilliant. If not, we've got enough toppings and things to layer it up and make it into some sort of weird wreath looking thing that will definitely tick the box for a dessert-minded person. What has happened? I just quickly turned the light on, it's been like 10 minutes. It's disappeared. It's literally gone. Oh my, what? What? It's gone. It's gone. I was gonna say, it's gone from this to this. It's just literally disappeared. Really low oven. That's what it was like. Maybe it was the pineapple juice, you know. What the heck? Right, let's try it again with sugar. We've got another tin of chickpeas in the house anyway. That smells back. Guess who's back? Mum's Spaghetti. Is this an M&M sponsored video? No, it's not. Just lose yourself in the chickpeas a moment. Never let go ho. I'm doing that again, but this time, no pineapple juice. Sugar probably will help because it's not fluid, and it should give it more stability too. Is this the reason I've never done this? In you go, mate. And already it's only been a minute, I want to look in and go, it hasn't vanished, which is something I don't say that often. Yeah, that does look pineapple juice coloured. Oh my word. Oh, hey Barry, for your next video, could you do clear chickpeas? Yeah, sure. Whoa. Okay then folks, I just halved my baking parchment and have taken the first one off of the tray. The other one was even bigger and I feel like it needs longer. So it's still in the oven, but just cooling down with it. But compared to where we were, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, it's not disappeared. And for my first time like doing that entirely, it's something I want to play around with more. I mean, it has got a little bit of a volume increase, and the cool thing like when you do meringues anyway in pavlova, it's kind of what you build on it to mask it in some ways. So here's the coconut milk that's been chilling out, and if there is any watery bits in it, no. Oh, there we go. That is coming out now. Oh no, there's my coconut water. Ugh. Ugh. I feel like this sieve has been amazing today. We're gonna get rid of that and just be left with the solid, because that is what we're gonna dump on top. Coconut cream. And yes, pineapple juice can go on you. You will not disappear this time. Well, oh, what a pavlova this recipe has been in every sense, but we've got it. And this is what I was saying about hiding it. That suddenly looks like 100 more times appealing. Beautiful. Right, last but not least, we've got the tin of caramel here that I'm just stirring up in the background, agitating it. Hopefully, by just getting a teaspoon like this, and just sort of like just dolloping it roughly all over like that. I like those random streaks that it's, oh my gosh, I've just looked at the camera. I'm really happy that I've done that. Yeah, that looks really, really tasty. All from a tin can, apart from the sugar. Oh! It really does have that meringue texture when you bite into it. Ugh. But I've got to taste this. What? You've got that light airiness that you get literally in an egg white meringue. I'm not gonna lie, whipping an egg white is faster, slightly shorter baking time too. It's actually 4 in the afternoon now. It's been a long day. The simplicity of these recipes, the starter and main took hardly any time. This does take a long time. That's the only downside. But you've got that crunch of the meringue, you know, that sort of like chewiness that you get when you have a meringue nest. Oh, and that coconut cream is cheeky. Now I'm eating it right now. That was worth the effort. Like decorating it with the cream and the fruit was minutes work. Building it, baking it, waiting for it to cool down, about 3 hours. So we really do need to put that time in. But for something when I buy chickpeas that I sometimes pour away, until you guys started telling me that, I was like, nah, that isn't true. It is so good to finally bring it to life. I know it probably wasn't the best attempt at it. It's my first ever go, but it tastes great. And I've got a feeling I might do it again. If I had to pick one, it would be the chowder, which has now been sat still for about 4 hours.
Hello, did you ever hear of that thing called a Christmas tinner? Effectively, it is a Christmas dinner tin with 9 layers of foodie festive goodness. If you looked at that closely, there are some questionable things in there, including scrambled egg and bacon on the top. Why are there not pigs and blankets? There's pigs and blankets on the actual label of the tin. Effectively though, the concept is that you've got an entire Christmas dinner in a tin with the Christmas pudding at the bottom, which makes complete sense, but mince pies underneath the scrambled egg right at the top. Now, I've been meaning to do this for several years, and it turns out one year there was even a vegetarian option. However, is it actually legit? I could try my best to explain it, but the lovely chaps at Did You Know Gaming have very kindly let me insert a brief clip from their extremely interesting, much longer video about the Christmas tinner.
Launched originally in December 2013, the Christmas tinner was a spoof food product from Game. The premise was that this was Christmas dinner in a can for gamers, 9 layers of festive goodness squashed into a single tin. Can't spare even 10 minutes of gaming time to eat a Christmas meal with your family, you socially inept wretch? Well, Game has just the thing for you. Some say it was just a marketing stunt, others claim to have genuinely owned one. The further I looked into this, the more I saw how little consensus there was in the matter, and what revealed itself to me was a mystery with as many layers as the product in question.
It's pretty interesting, right? And clever. For me, it's a little bit like the clear ketchup. I want to bring something to life that really isn't a thing and doesn't exist, so I want to make it reality even though it really shouldn't be. Are you ready for a story? Welcome to my day yesterday. I headed off to the local supermarket to grab some tin beans. When the Christmas tinner was originally created, tin cans were typically around about 500 grams. The biggest tin I could get, which was those baked beans, was 415 grams. No other tin had any bigger size. Looks like baked beans for lunch. To help me make a mold to make it shape easier, I headed to my garage, got out my angle grinder, and cut the tin can in half. Turns out cutting it in half was actually the easiest thing to do, but filing it and cleaning it to make it safe was way harder and took much, much longer. But with it taped together, we had our mold ready for layer 1, Christmas pudding. For the Christmas pudding, I got a Christmas pudding that we already had in the house that we were due to eat on Christmas Day. Shoved it into the bottom, pressing it down to try and level it off. Layer 1, done. Layer 2, roast carrots and parsnips. I did honey roast carrots and parsnips, so after peeling my veg, I parboiled it slightly in water just to soften it up, gave it a good old drizzle of honey, and then roasted it in the oven until it was bubbling away, all nice and charred. Honey roast, parsnips and carrots, glorified baby food. Oh, I'm a happy big baby right now. And down it went on top of the Christmas pudding. Dearie me. Layer 3, Brussels sprouts mixed with stuffing. So for the sprouts, I just prepped them and chopped them as normal and gave them a nice little parboil to soften them up. Already had some stuffing mix, kind of hacked up the sprouts and stuffing together. Down that layer went, and that's already 3 layers of pretty quirky food, but individually, probably rather tasty. Oh my gosh. Layer 4. Cranberry sauce. This was super easy. All I had to do was pop the seal, and I just dollop that down on top because when it's cold, it is like a jelly, as we saw right at the start. Bread sauce next, which I just made in a saucepan. Now this is kind of loose with milk. So what I decided to do was get some gelatin sheets. They kind of look like these funky transparent playing cards. Soaked them in water, which kind of helps to loosen them up and get them ready. Now 4 of these would set a pint of fluid. I've got half of that and 2 of these. In other words, we might end up with some white jelly. Dropped them into the bread sauce, warmed it through to melt it all in, and I spooned that on top of the cranberry sauce. Yeah, I'm really worried about that gravy layer seeping through there. So much so that for the next layer gravy, I did exactly the same. So I had gravy in a pan, got some more gelatin sheets, shoved that in there. Wanted to see how firm this gravy is gonna be. So I poured a small amount into this little glass tub. And if I just tip that at 92 degrees, oh my gosh, look. It's not moving. This took a very long time to cool down, which made me lose quite a lot of light here in the kitchen, but by the time it did cool down, it was poured straight on top, and that was a lovely gummy layer. Folks, it's a bit of a disaster, and to add to it, my fridge is flashing. Hang on. Some of the gravy has spilt out. Maybe I should have covered more tape on the tin, but it looks to have firmed up now and plugged the gap. My only fear is it's probably run down the rest of the tin now, but we might be able to get around that. Next layer, roast potatoes and turkey. So I roasted some potatoes in the oven till they came out charred. I am so hungry now. Had some cooked turkey meat, shoved it with the potatoes and whizzed it all together. All of a sudden it became this weird turkey roast potato mass. You could fry that. That would make an amazing sort of weird like turkey potato burger. Well, let's do it now. See, this for me is where it gets a little bit weird. We now switch back to dessert of mince pies, which obviously are pastry and mincemeat together. I'm really not so sure because it looks like a darker layer. The mincemeat alone is rather sticky. However, if you bond it together with the pastry in place, the pastry will help thicken it. I can't really think of any other way to do this other than to just do it with my hands. It actually turned, again, quite like the turkey and roast potato combo, fairly moldable. I think that's going to be our mince pie layer. That went straight in. The final layer to me didn't make any sense. I've never had a Christmas dinner with scrambled egg. Okay, I just do not get this whatsoever. Maybe you got some suggestions what could go in there, but I think pigs and blankets would be amazing. And it didn't help things that I decided to get a little bit crazy with it. So I got some eggs, whisked them all together with a little bit of milk and had some cooked bacon that I just chopped up for our bacon and egg layer. I could have made scrambled egg, I could have done it on a pan, but I had that spare tin and I thought, ooh. So I've got some water just coming to a boil and I'm sterilising that other tin, completely cleaning it out because we are going to submerge and cook the egg in that other tin using it as a mould. Oh no, it's floating. Oh, it's blooming floating. You're a wizard, Barry. Is that the most efficient way of doing it? Probably not. Is it going to work? Probably not. I feel with all this craziness going on, now's a good time to show you. My mum dropped this certificate in the other day. That is my GCSEs. I did terrible with my GCSEs, folks. Do your best. Phoebe's actually doing hers this year. I just said to her, just do your best. I attended the University of Life in the end and everything's worked out okay so far. But I got an E, an actual E in home economics cooking. I loved it. And I don't know why I got an E. When I posted that as well on Twitter, people were like, yeah, I got an E in maths and now I'm an accountant. Right, and physics lesson now. Oh my gosh! Ugh. Oh my gosh, look, it's firmed up. Can you see that? No, it's steaming the camera up, but it has set enough where it's now not moving much. This is good. Yeah, that well-known cooking phrase. I'm hoping I can sandcastle this. Oh no, I'm gonna answer the doorbell. Ugh! Ugh! So I tried again. I'm using a mixing bowl this time and that's sitting perfectly flush in the tin, working well. Well, that one failed because I didn't grease it and there was already residue of egg already in there, so it was just doing its thing and just disintegrated. So we stuck with our first one, which just sat on there like some weird egg ice hockey puck. Squishing it down and it just about worked. And you know what? I'm quite happy with the way that worked. By putting some cling film on it, I put it in the freezer, and my idea was to fuse it together overnight until this very point. Like the bit now where I'm talking. Like I should be getting it out of the freezer now, but I didn't. All right, I walked Boston. Mrs. B said to me, hang on a sec, if you let it thaw out in the morning, we'll still be letting it thaw now for hours. So last night we carried on a bit more. So I'm just gonna cover the turkey and potato in flour a minute. I'm just way too invested in this right now. Anyhow, in between the freezing, I forgot to say, with the help of my friend Zed, who's a fellow YouTuber, does Minecraft videos, we're doing a collaboration together very, very soon. Keep an eye out for that. We went to see a familiar friend. Matt has come up trumps again. Thank you, Matt.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, baby. Looks like a roast potato, doesn't it? That is good. It reminds me of a turkey crab cake. Anyhow, back to last night. My plan was to freeze it to bond it all together as one big tin can shape and then brush it with gelatin to give it that real jellified look. But getting it out of the tin, I was actually pleasantly surprised with that structure there. Now, although this tin came in handy, to make the scrambled egg, or perhaps more of the stamper, molder, cutter thing, there is a ridge on the top of the can. So my plan to drop the frozen mold into this was not going to work unless I filed off that, and I just didn't want to do any more of that. So I actually ended up last night going out and getting a third tin of beans, and I kept the top half on, but took off the bottom so that I could slide the can on top. It pushed out some of the ingredients, but we got it in the tin. We could put the cap back on the bottom and tape it in place, and then stick it in the fridge so it can slowly defrost overnight, which is where we're at now. So, all being well, we've effectively got a Christmas dinner in a can. Yes! I got this printed at the place that does my tax returns. They're not a printer, so they don't have a high glossy paper, but I think, do you know what? That will do, donkey. That will do. Boom! So before I eat this, I am going to let it come up to room temperature slightly from the fridge. I was mulling over warming it up, but I think it could all mingle all the layers together. The gelatin could seep and all that kind of stuff. Taking it in and out of the tin loads of times just doesn't feel like the right idea to do, you know? The other thing I want to say is if this was warmed, mashed together and put into some sort of posh brioche bun, I think it would be quite nice. However, room temperature like this, yeah. Before I'm joined by a special guest, don't forget to consider subscribing if you're not already for regular food fun. If you are, make sure your notifications are turned on. And thanks so much for the support. Thank you to Matt for the label. Thanks to Zed for help with the label. Also, thanks to the guys at Did You Know Gaming for the amazing information about the Christmas dinner. Such a good video. And as for me, ho ho oh dear. Folks, I am joined by the power of technology. Hi, Stuart.
Hello, Barry. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, yeah. I'm sorry I didn't drive to Norwich. It's quite a long way, and I wasn't sure how well this would travel.
For one tin, but my God, what a tin! I don't know if it shouldn't have been done or couldn't be done, but you've done it.
Okay, so we've got our omelette top. So actually, if I just give it a little bit of force and just push it out, there we go.
Oh, look at this! Oh my God! You bloody done it, Barry!
Eh?
You done it, mate!
That's actually worked out really well. Oh my gosh.
That's astonishing. So how do you eat it? Do you just start at one end, or do you take a long slice, or what?
Yeah, we've got omelette, mince pie, there's bread sauce, gravy, cranberry sauce, turkey and chicken, Brussels sprouts.
That is amazing. I mean, it's exactly as I remember it from the adverts, you know.
Oh.
Done it!
I'm going to try and get the whole lot in one big bite.
Oh, that's going to be a flavour sensation.
Yeah, so much going on here.
I'd love to know what the aftertaste is going to be. What is going to be the strongest flavour?
It tastes like Christmas. Oh my gosh. The actual strongest flavour by miles is the mince pie. Wow. And something else. I don't know what that is. There's something else there. I can't actually...
Mystery flavour.
Yeah, it tastes like Christmas wrapping paper.
Oh, lovely.
So it kind of went like a buttery pastry thing. No sweetness at all. And then tasted like paper, and then Christmas pudding. So I think my top conclusion with this is it tastes like Christmas pudding.
I can't believe how well that's come out. It's just exactly right, isn't it?
Well, Merry Christmas, Stu. I'll be on the motorway now and drop the other half off to you.
Oh, please, yeah. If you can get here in about 20 minutes, I'll be happy.
Well, that was very exciting, wasn't it? That is it left over in all of its delight, folks. Look at all of those layers. And that cranberry sauce did actually hang in there in the end. I think going in the fridge, as it sort of defrosted, it still went back to its state of being cranberry sauce, like a jelly, and held it together. I mean, that's actually, that's quite some high praise from Stu. And he's relieved that he's not got to try this until next year.